Welcome, dear script seekers, to this chilling episode of the Overdose Podcast. If you're new here, welcome. And for my loyal subscribers, welcome back. You know what you're here for. Today's tale is one that weaves a narrative so uniquely sinister that it seems pulled straight from the realms of fiction. But, as we all know, sometimes truth can be stranger than fiction. This is the story of a seemingly normal wife, one who managed to craft the perfect facade. Yet, behind this perfect veneer, this tale turns deadly. The protagonist, Kouri Richins, becomes a fatal adversary when she poisons her husband, Eric, with, you guessed it, fentanyl, a potent, dangerous drug that's used and misused for its devastating power. But the shock doesn't stop there. Oh no. Why would it stop there? After this heinous act, this wife, this murderer, allegedly, had the audacity, she had the chilling gall to write a children's book about grief that she orchestrated. But who better to unravel this disturbing plot from the unique perspective of a pharmacist, a profession that knows all too well the life-saving and life-ending capabilities of such a powerful drug. So let's question the motive and uncover the chilling details of a crime that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about overdose. I'm NAllenRx. Let the speculation begin. Fentanyl was her weapon of choice. Well, not her first choice, but after a failed attempt at using hydrocodone, she asked her dealer for some of that Michael Jackson stuff. Everybody knows that Michael Jackson died of a propofol overdose. But I think that it's safe to assume that she wanted her husband dead, when all it takes is 2 milligrams, equivalent to a couple of grains of salt, to be lethal. Kouri Richins gave her husband 5 times the lethal amount. He had 10 milligrams of fentanyl in his system, per the toxicology report. Imagine what it's like to ingest 5 times the lethal amount of fentanyl. Have y'all ever thought about what happens when a person overdoses off of fentanyl? Or do they go into convulsions, or what happens exactly? Let me describe it to you. Fentanyl binds to the body's opioid receptors, called the mu receptors, similar to other opioids, but with a potency nearly 100 times that of morphine. They're located in the areas of the brain that control pain and emotions. This flood of synthetic happiness, as users describe it, overcomes the brain's pain pathway, flooding it with dopamine and creating a temporary feeling of intense euphoria, also known as the rush. It's a quick and silent killer. One moment, the unsuspecting victim is alive, and within an hour, they could be facing their tragic end. Euphoria rush high, right? Here's the dark side. The brain, we all know, also controls the involuntary movements, like breathing. You don't have to think to breathe. No one has to tell you, hey, make sure you're breathing. Don't forget to breathe. Your body just does it naturally. The fentanyl that binds to all these mu receptors, once the others are filled up, they start binding to these mu receptors at other sites in the body, as in the respiratory system. At this point, after binding so many of the respiratory receptors, the body succumbs to the drug. Breathing slows, consciousness fades, and without immediate medical intervention, life silently slips away. And this is what happened to Eric Richins on March 3rd, 2022. What's the motivation behind something like this? Why would Kouri, a seemingly happy wife, mother to 3 sons, successful realtor, what would make her kill her husband, Eric? Why would a woman want to kill her husband? So I did a little research, and these could be true. I don't know. I don't know the stats. I don't know. But anyway, this is what I found. Financial gain. Initially, from the backstory with the prenuptial agreement that said she could only collect, or they could only collect from each other if the spouse died, you would think it's financial, right? But they were married like a long time, however many years. Then recently, she wanted to purchase a $2 million home. It was unfinished, and she wanted to flip it. He was against it. I don't know how long they have been having this conversation, or if there were other issues, but at first glance, it looks like it was finances. May have had to be a little, psychopathy too, or some kind of personality disorder, because after doing that, after allegedly murdering him, she wrote a children's book on grief. It's called Are You With Me? I listened to another analysis of this story, and they said she pretty much made a ghost dad out of the children's dad, which could be creepy in a way. And she had to have some type of psychological issue to write a book about grief. Only this came about after she found out other contributing factors that make me think that it's not only the finances, but it also could be some psychological things there. A couple days after she found him, she threw a party because she closed on the $2 million home. No shame whatsoever, Kouri. Come on now. That's just poor taste. But anyway, also, she found out that Kouri had changed his will and he left everything to his sister because she evidently made several attempts to try to kill this man. So she's upset. Right now, they still have a court case pending because she can't collect on the life insurance. Fast forward, on the anniversary of his death, a year later, she's on the news promoting her book. If that doesn't have any psychological undertone, then I don't know what does. And from what the reviews that I've read on the book, a lot of people thought it was kind of creepy. So the reviews were not so good, especially with this. And it's not available anymore on Amazon. So in the end, so far, she hasn't gotten any money. Her book sucks. And she killed her husband for nothing. Because now they seized the house because she put the house back on the market 2 weeks after she closed on it. It was disaster waiting to happen. But Paracelsus, famously known as the father of toxicology because he came up with the quote, "The dose makes the poison," which is true in this case. She tried it with hydrocodone. Then she gave him a certain amount of fentanyl the second attempt. She spent $900. Then she spent another $900 on 15 to 30 fentanyl because in his toxicology report, this man had 10 milligrams of fentanyl in his system, 5 times the lethal dose. That lets you know that she was not leaving any stone unturned this time. She gave him the full Monty, but she hasn't gone to trial or anything yet. We'll see as this case unfolds. We'll revisit this once we get more information. And so, dear script seekers, this story of Kouri Richins, a tale of a wife whose sinister actions not only made her author of a children's book, but also the author of deceit, poison, and grief. A grief far too real for those left behind. True crime is just not about what, but also the how and the why. As we continue on this journey, if you guys have made it this far and you enjoyed the content, please hit the like and subscribe button and join us on the next episode of the Overdose Podcast right here in the pharmacy. Well, guys, these prescriptions, they keep piling up and these phones, they never stop ringing. I'll catch you guys in the next episode.